What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We're back to working on this pile of crap right here, the E30, and we got a bunch of new stuff. So not doing anything crazy today, but we're gonna be transferring the old tail lights back to the car because those eBay ones are not really working too well, and I'm not really a fan of them. So we have two sets of tail lights here. These are the ones from the junkyard. I am noticing that the ones that I had previously are a little bit cleaner and better shape than the ones I got from the junkyard, so we're gonna be using these today. For the tail lights themselves, we got some items or parts in this box right here, and then we also are going to take some time to clean up the tail lights, polish them up, make them look as brand new as possible, and get them back on the car. So within the box here we have, let's see, a bunch of paper. So in the box here we have these drain plugs, or what they call them, blind plugs. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then we also have our new gaskets for our tail lights, so we won't have to worry about water seeping into the car like it has been. And even right now, the tail lights that are on there only have one rubber gasket. These model tail lights should come with rubber. That tail light on that side has the foam gasketing, which I don't like, so we got these to replace the gaskets, all new gaskets all around. And then we got some polish so that we can clean them up, make them look nice. I did clean them up before I stored them away, so they're a lot nicer than they were when they came off the car, but I think this will add a nice little extra touch and get them shined up real nice. So obviously the first step is to get these tail lights out. And again, like I mentioned in one of the previous videos, if anyone wants them, I got them for 250 bucks, I think, off at eBay or something like that. So if anyone wants them, they're all yours. I'll give you guys a good price. So now we got these out, we're gonna go ahead and start replacing all the bulbs over from this set of taillights to the old set, because the old set does have old bulbs in it, so didn't really want to reuse those if we didn't have to. Got the new bulbs switched over from the old ones, which are right here. These are all new, and you can actually tell they're a lot newer because the filament isn't like discolored and whatnot. It's all pretty clear. I made sure I didn't touch them. I was using a rag to make sure there was no oil on there because I don't have gloves. But now let's go ahead and put in the new gasket. When I say we're slowly replacing every little piece on this car, I'm really not joking. Like every nut and bolt. I even got new hardware for the taillights. So we got new hardware for the taillights. We got new brackets for the taillights. So literally everything is getting replaced on this car. And because I plan on keeping it forever. So I want everything done right, and done right the first time. And now with the new gasket on, we can go ahead and throw this back into the car. And it's as simple as, wait, this is this side. Actually, let me go ahead and clean all this gunk around here first. I don't want the gasket getting stuck to all that. Okay, so now that we got that clean, we can go ahead and start wiggling this thing through. Do we get it? There we go. Yep. I like this one so much better than those ugly eBay taillights. I didn't before, I don't know why, but this is so much nicer. And we got one bolt in, just holding it. And before I tighten everything down, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. So put the new gasket in, and then replace all the old bulbs, put the new ones in, and yeah, just repeat the process. We got both taillights in. We got the main harness plugged back up right there. Not sure how well you guys can see that. We haven't put the rest of the hardware in just yet because I still need to mess around with all the wiring and potentially see why the taillights are not working. I think that's gonna be the biggest challenge here. So that's one thing we need to do, which is gonna take some time. So I'm probably gonna put the camera down for a few hours and just try to locate the wires in this jumble of mess right here, find out what the wiring diagram is. Luckily they have those online, mess around with that a little bit, and hopefully we can make sure that all the bulbs turn on when they're supposed to when the car's on. Before we do that, I did wanna go ahead and put in these blind plugs slash drain plugs. So these actually just fit right into these holes right here that we have on the floor pan. So luckily for us, this new floor pan was actually welded. They actually butt welded right here the hole. They butt welded that hole right there. So there's only one on this side, and then there's 4 more on the other passenger side. Got one right there, one right there, one right there. So that's 3. And then 4 right there. So total of 5 of these blind plugs that we need to plug with this thing right here. It's not the same original part number as when the car came out the factory. They did change these, hence why they look different than what my old blind plugs used to look like, which are right there. These ones, some descriptions have them as hot melt blind plugs. From the little research I did online, apparently you have to heat these up. This kind of O-ring right here, which is plastic, melts and makes a perfect seal against a floor pan, which I'm not really sure if they actually do or not. I'm not sure if this is actually a heat or hot melt blind plug. Some of them said this was a hot melt blind plug, some other description said it wasn't, or just normal blind plug, so I'm really not sure. So in this little baggie right here, I have 5 blind plugs, and I bought a 6th one just so I can test if that's actually the case or not. From what I read online, you don't heat up the actual blind plug itself, you heat up the floor around it, or the metal around the blind plug, and then you just put this on top and it should melt and create like a solid seal. Now, I haven't done any research around how to use these, or if that's actually what you're supposed to be doing, or even if you need to warm these up. So I'm gonna go ahead and test one out, and if it doesn't work, I'll just put the rest of them in dry as is without doing anything, and if this one works, then they're all gonna get heated up. So it turns out it is a hot melt blind plug, because as soon as I started warming up that plastic around it, it kind of got really soft, and when I pressed it in here and I tapped it with a mallet, it kind of just spread around and covered everything. So yeah, I guess I did get the right blind plugs or drain plugs, whatever you want to call it. So now we just got to do the same thing 4 more times on the other side, and we should be good with all of these. And hopefully I never have water leaking through my floor pan, because that's how they all rust. They eventually go bad, the plugs go bad, water gets in, and it's just bad for everybody. The last time I actually did warm up the actual plug itself. This time I'm gonna try the floor and hopefully see how the results are different. And I think this is the proper way to do it. And now I know to just follow the instructions properly, because heating up the floor actually worked 10 times better. Everything sat down properly, and now the plastic is now hardened, and it looks like these things are good to go. So we got all the holes covered. We have 1 extra since I didn't mess any of them up, and that's always nice to have because you never know when you might need it. So just gonna put that there with all these other old plugs. Like, these things are supposed to be malleable, but these things are pretty hard. I feel like if I squish it too hard, it would just snap or crack, which is not a good sign. So we got 1 extra, we got all this. Now let's go ahead and start polishing up the taillights. Honestly, for 30-year-old taillights, this is not too bad. This one is a little bit shinier than this one. This one has a bit of a haze to it. But now let's go ahead and grab a finishing pad. Hopefully we have some extras. Yeah, so we're gonna grab a finishing pad and then grab our Ryobi right here and go to town on getting this thing cleaned up. And that looks so much better. I can actually see my reflection now. You can actually see my reflection compared to before. Do need to get all that out, and as well as in here. That is so much nicer. Now I did forget a little bit of this top edge, so I might just redo one more on it, but that is that side compared to this side. This side is pretty good. Like, I don't even really need to do it. I'm just gonna do it, to be honest. And just like that, we got both sides done. As you can see, they're super shiny now, so it was just a simple finish. I did end up compounding it just a tiny bit. Where'd that go? Oh, I put it back over there. But I did end up compounding it just a little bit. And as you can tell, you can see my reflection on both of them very clearly. So I'm really happy with how that came out. In the next video, we're actually gonna be trying to compound and polish the entire car. This is not something that I've done before, so I'm very new to kind of paint correction, but I want to try it because the car is going to get repainted anyway. But if I can make it look better in the meantime, why not, right? Now it's time for me to jump into the car, do all the work that I really don't want to do, and that's find out what's wrong with the wiring and see if I can get those taillights to work. I'm guessing when they were welding the floor pan, they wanted to get it out the way as much as possible, but because of that, nothing back here works. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down, and we're not even gonna install these just yet until it is a little bit darker out, so that way we can actually see if they're working or not working. And I have someone here to hit the brake, turn signals, all that. See you guys in a few. So let's see if I fixed it. Go ahead. All right, right indicator. Left. Oh yes. Do the right again. Why is that one blinking so fast? Oh, at least it's working now. Oh, nice, it's working. Hazards. So there's something wrong with that one right there. Oh, even got the regular tail lights working now. Reverse lights on?
Not the left side.
Not the left side?
Yeah, the right side I see the light, but I don't see this one.
Now right. Nice. Brake. Nice. Can you do reverse again? And we got reverse working now. Hold that. And we got our regular taillights working. Finally. So honestly, it was a mix of two issues. There was some wires that were down here in the driver footwell that weren't really connected. And then also some of these bulbs were just not working. Everything that's on this side is good or new, but a lot of these weren't working. And then these are all old ones. These are all old ones. And some of these are still working, but some of the new ones weren't. So we played around. All the bulbs are now working. Everything that needs to be working on the taillight works. And they're cleaned up now. So as you can see, it's nice and clean. They look basically brand new for 30-year-old taillights. They're in pretty good condition, and we got one big headache out the way. This was a huge issue for me that I really wanted to fix for a long time. We got some new gaskets in, we got the new bulbs in, we got new hardware, so now all the bolts on the taillights should be plugged up like how it was factory. We got all of our drain plugs plugged up, which is nice because now no water is going to be seeping in anymore. We got a lot done today. We have a set of eBay taillights. These should fit any late model E30s, as well as some stock late model E30 taillights. So if anyone needs a pair, let me know. If not, they're just gonna sit here and collect dust, or I might use them, create some decoration for the house or something like that. Don't tell my wife. But in the next video, we're gonna be going ahead and trying to polish up this paint. It is absolutely disgusting. The car is just super dirty in general. So we're gonna try polishing it up, bringing it back to life a little bit, and make it a little bit more car meet worthy. Happy with what we got done today. But appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.